Hi, my name is Hosea Masinga, and I am a case officer at the National Consumer Tribunal. Today, I will be guiding you on how to file an application in terms of Section 141B of the National Credit Act with the tribunal after being issued with a notice of non-referral from the National Credit Regulator. A Section 141 application is an application which is filed by a consumer directly to the tribunal once the National Credit Regulator has issued a notice of non-referral to the consumer in response to a complaint referred to it by the consumer. However, a consumer cannot refer the application to the tribunal if the notice of non-referral relates to a Section 166 of the National Credit Act. This means that a complaint in terms of this Act may not be referred or made to the tribunal or to a consumer court more than 3 years after the act or omission that is the cause of the complaint. Furthermore, a complaint in terms of this Act may not be referred to the tribunal or to a consumer court against any person that is or has been a respondent in proceedings under any other section of this Act relating substantially to the same conduct. There are several steps involved in a Section 141B application. Although you will be filing the entire application on the onset, it must be noted that before the matter is heard on the merits, the tribunal must grant leave to the consumer to refer the matter directly to the tribunal. I will now take you through an overview of the processes involved in a Section 141B application. The first step is the filing of the application by the consumer, which must comply with the filing requirements. Once the tribunal receives the application is screened for compliance with the filing requirements. If the filing requirements are met, then a notice of filing will be issued to the parties. Further to that, the respondent has 15 business days to answer to the leave to refer application, and the consumer has 10 business days to reply to that answer from the date the answer was received. Once pleadings close, the tribunal will set the matter down for the leave to refer. The consumer and the respondent are not required to attend the leave to refer hearing, as it is adjudicated on the papers and a ruling will be issued thereafter. If the leave to refer is refused, the matter is finalized, and if it is granted, the pleadings will then reopen from the date the leave to refer ruling was issued. Once pleadings close, the tribunal will set the matter down for hearing on the merits. The parties must be present to argue their respective cases. Thereafter, the final judgment will be issued by the tribunal. There are a few instances that impact the usual processes, such as the following: the late filing of the application for leave to refer to the tribunal, or other interlocutory applications. A few common examples include the late filing of affidavits or applications to amend legal documents, and failure to meet filing requirements. Table 2 serves as a guideline on how to file a Section 141B application as guided by the tribunal rules, which are available on the NCT website, which is www.thenct.org.za. The filing requirements to a Section 141 application are as follows. The consumer must file the application within 20 business days from the date on the notice of non-referral. Please take note of the following. Business days excludes weekends, public holidays, and office closure period. When calculating, exclude the first day and include the last day. The date that the notice of non-referral is issued or received is immaterial. The date on the notice applies. If the application is filed outside the prescribed period, a condonation must be filed along with the Section 141 application papers. You may contact our offices for direction with regard to filing condonnations. The required documents for a Section 141 application are as follows: the tribunal's filing notice, which is Form TI R30A, the NCR's completed complaint form, which is Form 32, the complaint form as submitted to the NCR. This includes supporting documents that were submitted to the NCR along with the complaint form. And lastly, the notice of non-referral that was received from the NCR. Kindly consider the following when completing the application forms. Get the citation right as it assists with enforcement of a judgment and with the case before the tribunal. You may check on CIPC or NCR for the registered name of the other party. Make sure the correct citation is consistently reflected on all application papers. Ensure the order that you seek is an order that the tribunal can grant. Have a look at SAFLI for tribunal judgments in this type of application to guide you. You may refer to the guidelines on Table 2 to ensure you submitted all the documents. With regards to NCR Form 32, please ensure that you complete the Form 32 in its entirety. In Part 2 of the form, give a detailed description of the complaint. In Part 3 of the form, you must address the reasons for referral, the prospects of success, the importance of the matter to you, the relief you seek, and why the tribunal should grant the leave to refer. And you should ensure you address the reasons you disagree with the notice of non-referral. Proper service must be effected before the tribunal can accept an application. Service can be done personally, via email, fax, or via registered mail. For personal service, the person signing for receipt must include their name, surname, and designation. Courier service is also a form of personal service. In addition, you can serve via email and thereafter follow up with personal service to expedite. When using email or fax service, the consent to service must be received and the consent must be specific and relevant to the service of the application. You may opt to serve by registered mail. The registered mail slip must be stamped and dated. Should the service avenues not apply, kindly contact us for further assistance. When you have compiled all your documents, kindly serve the NCR with the application form. Further to that, serve the entity that the complaint is against and all other parties affected by the order or the relief sought, and serve them with all the documents of the application. So, what we do when we receive your documents is that we screen your submission and decide to issue a notice of filing if we are satisfied with the submission. Alternatively, we issue a letter rejecting your application with guidance on how to file. We do this to ensure that you are able to provide all the relevant information for the tribunal to adjudicate your case. When filing, the common errors that result in the rejection of your application are as follows: not citing the respondent correctly, not completing the forms fully, serving via email without consent to serve, when serving by hand, not including the recipient's designation, signature, date, and time, not stating the section of the NCA that your case is based on, filing outside the 20-day prescribed period. These days run from the date on the notice of non-referral. Not addressing leave to refer on the NCR Form 32. And that concludes the process on how to file a Section 141 application. Should you have any inquiries, please contact the Registrar's Office at registry@thenct.org.za.